Moira is one of the more complex healers to play, as you need to be able to balance your ability to heal your allies and damage enemies. You can't exclusively do one. Your primary job as Moira is to be a healer, but due to your healing being on a resource system, you have to find room in between your healing and using your abilities to do damage with your right click in order to replenish these resources. I'm the Cheesy Gamer, and welcome to Temple Storm's first installment of Hero Introductions, featuring Moira. Your main priority as Moira is to be healing. If you were to come across a scenario where you're faced with either healing an ally who's in need of it, or to kill a low HP target, almost always heal your ally. It's not worth it to run the risk of your ally dying. It's a much safer option to heal them rather than to kill the low HP target, since the ally that you're healing likely has the opportunity to do it themselves. You're more suited towards healing due to how little damage output you have compared to other characters. Generally, you should be healing, but also weaving in damage into the mix so that you can keep your resources at a healthy amount. If you only heal, you'll run out of healing resources, and if you only deal damage, your team will lack sustain in exchange for mediocre amounts of extra damage. With this in mind, you should be positioning yourself with the team, not too close to enemies, but not too far away from your allies. With her ability to heal multiple people at the same time, it makes it ideal to angle yourself to spray multiple allies at the same time so that you get more healing out for your team as well as use less resources. Keep in mind that Moira has an ability that allows her to heal her allies for an extra 50 HP after she stops healing them. By quickly spraying an ally or leaving them with a bit of missing HP after healing them, you can save resources by letting the healing over time take into effect. When targets are further away or you need to increase your healing or damage, Biotic Orb is perfect. Biotic Orb has a healing effect as well as a damage effect, which you can choose from just like your Biotic Grasp. Choosing which one to use depends on the situation. The only thing you have to really watch out for when using Biotic Orb is D.Va. D.Va will completely counter your Biotic Orb with her defense matrix, so you have to be sure not to throw it towards her. Other than that, Biotic Orb is best used in tight spaces where it can bounce back and forth in your desired area. Being able to keep it close to allies or enemies is pretty important, as throwing it in a random direction will render it useless after it leaves its effective range. For example, on Hanamura point B, if you're fighting on point, instead of just throwing your orb in a random direction, you can throw it towards a wall so that it travels back and forth by the point, coming back to you and your allies after it leaves its effective range. If you're able to find ways of keeping it in your desired area longer, you'll find that you'll not only be healing more or dealing more damage, but gaining your ultimate charge much faster. Now, the only basic ability we haven't really talked about is Moira's Fade. This ability has quite a few components to it, which makes it very versatile in what it can do. For the most part, it can dodge abilities, increase your movement speed to reposition, and give you a quick burst of stealth. There isn't really one way to use it due to the amount of versatility it has, as well as the short cooldown it has. Most of the time when I use it, it's used to reposition myself or dodge abilities such as a Roadhog hook. Due to the invulnerability it provides, you can also dodge abilities such as a Junkrat Riptire or a D.Va Bomb in the event that you aren't able to reposition yourself in time to escape. The last ability to go over with Moira is her ultimate. Her ultimate, while it is strong, it isn't one of the most impactful ultimates in the game, but it's still fairly good. Think of it like a very valuable ability that upgrades your potential to deal damage as well as heal allies for a short period of time. Not only are you able to put up more healing and deal damage while it's active, but you can actually do both of them at the same time. The most important thing to understand when using this ultimate is that it can go through targets, whether they are allies or enemies. So what that means is, in theory, the best ultimates are the ones where you can heal your allies and deal damage to enemies at the same time. Quick tip, it's ideal to use your Biotic Orb before using your ultimate. This way you can either increase your healing per second or damage per second during the time of using your ultimate. For example, if your team gets hit by an enemy Zarya grab, you can use the healing portion of your Biotic Orb, then use Coalescence to heal them for 250 HP per second. Coalescence lasts for 8 seconds while your orb lasts for 10 seconds, so after the duration of your ultimate runs out, you should have your Biotic Orb coming back up. Generally, when I'm using Coalescence, I'll prioritize healing rather than dealing damage. When you're playing Moira, your safety is #1 priority, then your healing, and then dealing damage. Regardless of what composition you're playing in, it's best if when you're playing with a Moira, if you can stick close to your teammates. It makes it a lot easier on the Moira to keep everyone alive if she can heal multiple allies at the same time rather than having to choose one or the other. In addition, even though Moira's heal does have a fair range, spreading out too far from each other makes it difficult for her to keep track of who needs healing, so staying somewhat close to each other is advised. This is why quad tank is generally played with her. Generally, a quad tank composition sticks close together, which makes it very easy for her to be efficient with resources as well as get her ultimate charge very quick. Fights for Moira are better when taking at a medium to close range so that she can participate in breaking a shield or providing supportive damage when she doesn't need to heal. It becomes more challenging for Moira when teammates are greatly spread apart. Due to her inability to heal from great distances, it forces her to have to travel across the map rapidly in order to keep everyone alive, which can be difficult when her fade is on cooldown. The biggest challenge you have to face with enemy team comps is dive. Chances are that if you run against a team running dive, you'll be using fade often enough to where positioning becomes more important. Fade is your only escape option if the enemy team or flankers jump on you at the same time. If you only have one enemy on you that can't easily one-shot you, you can, depending on the situation, duel them and take them down slowly. In scenarios like this, small rooms are great for dueling since Moira can use her orbs to constantly bounce back and forth in an area she's fighting in or where she's standing in order to give herself more healing as she saps HP from her target. That'll do it for this episode of Tempo Storm's Overwatch hero introductions. Be sure to share the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below on what hero or map you'd like to see broken down next time. See you guys next week!